leadership is a very lonely place. And one of the reasons why it's hard to own your mistakes is because you develop this idea that if you own your mistakes, you're going to lose credibility. When actually the opposite is true. But sometimes we not even know that we're doing that. We have this blind spot and we not even see what other people see. And so having mechanisms or people that you trust that have nothing to gain or lose by telling you the truth is the first step to becoming a great leader.
Mhm.
I've seen people that start as managers and they are elevated to senior leadership. And all of a sudden, you see a shift in their approach, even because then your weaknesses or the cracks in your character begin to be magnified at that
Mhm.
level. And so it is so important that it's not just own, your mistakes, but oftentimes you don't even know what those mistakes are. So it's hard to own them. So
Mhm.
having a circle of trusted advisors, people that can give you the truth is absolutely critical.
Yeah. Sort of blind spot spotters, if you will, the people that will point
Yeah.
out to us, "Hey, I see this going on, maybe you're not noticing it." I remember that reminds me of when I was in medical school. So I was a 3rd year medical student, and I was doing my surgery rotation, and back then, nobody cared about hours, how many hours you worked or what well, I was gonna say you didn't. They actually did care about how many you didn't work. They didn't care how many you did work, they wanted you to be at the hospital all the time, and so when I was doing my surgery rotation, I stayed at the hospital most of the 2 months that I was doing that rotation. I spent a lot of nights that I wasn't on call in the call room, and actually they would page me even though I wasn't on call because they knew I would answer a lot of times. So I was just working like crazy. And my friend, Dan, close friend of mine, he was at my wedding and everything. He came to me and he said, "Hey, smoothing out the verbiage, you're really being a jerk lately." Because I was just so overworked and so spent, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, that I was being a jerk. I was being short with people. I was not being the person I wanted to be, but I didn't recognize it because I didn't have the mental energy to think about it. It was just
Mhm.
how to keep going, how to meet this demand or do that thing or whatever. And Dan said, "Hey, this isn't you, man." And so he absolutely helped me to see that. And change course and improve the situation. But that's an example, absolutely, where having that blind spotter was really important to me in that experience.
No, 100%. It's hard though, to find those people, right?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, there's a sense of competition. So your peers sometimes, well, everybody's keeping appearances. Everybody wants to show up as if they have it all together. And so having those external people that can truly, or like you had a friend,
Mhm.
he couldn't lose anything, right? You were not controlling his paycheck. You were not controlling his promotions. And so we need to find those people that can help us identify when we are not showing up as the people that we actually want to be.
Mhm.
That is, one of the biggest things in terms of being a bridge builder. I know leaders who, in their value system, they want to be kind, they want to be empathetic, they want to be great leaders, and then they don't show up as that. Sometimes it doesn't show up in a particular segment of their communication. So, for instance, there's a leader that I can think of who is absolutely kind and lovely if you are face to face with this individual. Then you get emails, and this person just shows up as a bully, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, in talking to some of the employees, they just felt almost psychologically abused because they would read this email. It was so abusive or so short or so mean.
Mhm.
And they were ready to just complain. And then this person would show up in just as a completely different person. So they had this cognitive dissonance
Right.
where they were so upset at this email communication, but yet when they were in front of this person, they couldn't say anything because this person acted in a completely different way. And so those kind of disconnects,
Mhm.
sometimes, we don't even realize that are happening, and so we need to look at what is causing that. In your case, you're talking about stress and burnout. We need to have those conversations.